With just days away from 2023, we have an update from the SafeMoon core team. This is a captain's log in the form of a video. So that is the CEO of SafeMoon. He is speaking up, and this specific video is highlighting about the blockchain. I will have a link to this video down in the description below. I'll be sharing my thoughts as we go along in this video. And so if you're curious to see what other people are having to say, I highly recommend you go check out the original video, go down to the comments section, take a look there, share your own thoughts as well. Of course, you guys are welcome to do that on my video, but I highly recommend you go check out the original source. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. Highly encourage you guys to go do your own research. If I sound a little bit nasally, I do have a cold right now and I'm working through it the best that I can. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this.
Let's talk blockchain.
Before we do that, John, anyone else, just out of curiosity, when you take a look at his background, were you like, is he in a bathroom? I know it's just kind of a side thing, but I saw the tiles and heard the echo and everything. I'm like, did this guy seriously put like a beanbag chair inside of a bathroom? But no, that's their actual design. I do like the sign over here on the right-hand side of the SafeMoon. The tiles, the background, everything, it looks very nice. It does look very professional. He's got a candle over there on the little table, and I don't know what exactly he's drinking, but not a big deal, not important.
Specifically, let's talk the SafeMoon blockchain. I am so excited for this new invention within the SafeMoon ecosystem.
You can see with the editing style, there's a little bit of a zoom in effect that's going on, so they're trying to make it a little more dramatic. Just a cinematic piece that's been thrown in here, because if you look at the overall context of the video, it seems very just direct, right? And so how much of an impact did they have here as far as the back end? Very minimal so far. There's not like a bunch of fancy CGI that we've seen in previous videos. And from a communication standpoint, do we really need all that stuff? We don't, right? Does it look cool? Does it get people hyped, excited? Yes. But at the end of the day, we've been waiting. We just want the information.
Now, we've been talking about the blockchain for quite a while. We started talking about it in 2021, saying it was going to be released. It was not. 2022.
I like the fact that he actually acknowledges that their team did say that the blockchain was supposed to be released in 2021. And then here we are all the way through 2022, and
unfortunately, I will say it is not going to be released in 2022.
Okay. I mean, we're only 5 days left of 2022, so if anyone here is watching the video and you're like, oh yeah, no, this whole time I was totally still expecting, even today, right? I was still expecting that the blockchain was going to be coming out before 2023. I mean, we just barely had the SafeMoon orbital shield come out, so really tight frame.
We wanted to invent something, not fork
frame.
another chain and then slap it together and call it a day, which we could have done.
And I want to stress this part here.
Not fork another chain and then slap it together and call it a day, which we could have done. And that would.
Okay, not fork another chain, slap it, and then call it done. I want people to remember this as we continue to hear the rest of the video. When they come out with the blockchain some point, is it going to be some just slapped on fork? If it is, it's going to be very disappointing that he made these kinds of statements. And why am I even bringing this up? There's concern, but there's an opportunity that's here for them to do what's right. They've already made this issued statement, right? When you take a look at the SafeMoon wallet when it had come out, it was essentially a slapped on version of the Trust Wallet. Now, it used its coding, it changed its user interface. At the end of the day, does the product work? Yes, people are proactively using it. The SafeMoon Orbital Shield has also been recently implemented into it. So that is playing a core relationship between the two of them. Is it a bad thing if they slap on another blockchain? Depends on what it is, in my opinion, that they're modifying. If it's an improvement to something that's already currently existing out there, then I don't think it's that big of a deal. But if it's literally just basically a carbon copy of another blockchain that currently exists, then that's going to be disappointing. As it is right now, At this moment, according to what the CEO said right here in this video, does not sound like that's the route that they're planning to take for these reasons.
Would have decreased our build time. We needed to work on Orbital Shield first. The SafeMoon blockchain will be akin to a proof of authority blockchain.
Now, proof of authority, let's go ahead and talk about that for a second. Proof of authority, or POA, is an algorithm used with blockchains that delivers comparatively fast transactions through a consensus mechanism based on identity as a stake. The most notable platforms using proof of authority are VeChain, BitGert, Palm Network, and Zodex, I think is how you say that last one. Me personally, I've heard of VeChain. I believe I've heard of BitGert. I think a lot of people were comparing BitGert in the past with the SafeMoon exchange and what BitGert was basically getting things done. So yeah, they're looking at proof of authority here. And I will have a separate video, I'll do a different day, where I break down more on the transactional volume of what we're looking at from these other crypto projects. What are the pros? What are the cons? Kind of going over the list of different things. I'll try and figure out some stuff for that video. So keep an eye out for that, guys. All right. And they did send out this tweet here saying, let's stop beating around the block. Chain. Strong foundations are built one block at a time. We were stuck between a block and a hard place. Enough block puns. The captain has an update.
But we have our own spin on it. We have our own inventions around it. One of the most key critical pieces we had to get under our belts was Orbital Shield and the encryption around and how Orbital Shield works. Now, you see all the token partners on the SafeMoon ecosystem. That's a lot of token partners. Those are a lot of...
I don't know. Do you guys consider it to be a lot of token partners compared to some other swaps that are out there? I would say, yeah, that there's going to be more. There's a lot of different projects that are trying to create their own swaps. But is it really a lot? Let me know what you guys think.
Quality people. And it's going to continue to grow.
Well, I want to go ahead and stress that part right there.
And that's a lot of token partners. Those are a lot of quality people.
Those are a lot of quality people, because one of the processes that what SafeMoon is doing is actually talking with these crypto projects, ideally having them fly out or drive out, but meeting up in person and having that experience, getting to know them a little bit more, checking out more of their projects, seeing what it is that they're doing, being comfortable with one another, and then bringing them on board. This is how it's been presented to the general public, and that is something that identifies themselves as being different from a lot of these other from a lot of these other swap-based projects. So there is a degree of credibility in their process of what they're trying to take in comparison to other projects.
And it's going to continue to grow. Currently, we are looking as Solidity being the language of the SafeMoon blockchain. Now, there are other languages.
Solidity is a very well-known coding language for cryptocurrencies. A lot of mainstream projects have been built using Solidity. So going that route, we might be seeing something that's similar in mindset to that of like Ethereum. And because they're talking about high transactional volume, I'm hoping that they're also expecting the fact that gas fees need to be quite limited. But again, we'll go into the proof of authority cryptocurrencies and look at some of those figures in a separate video.
Languages there, and I can get into the back and forth why another language is better than another, and you got Rust over here, Python and Java. You got all these languages. We picked Solidity because it has the most support. It's continuously being built upon, and there's already a massive development community ready to go to come onto our blockchain. And they wouldn't be able to come to our blockchain or make the choice to come to our blockchain if we didn't choose Solidity. It also allows SafeMoon to migrate all of our amazing ecosystems.
And again, because so many projects are building off of Solidity, that creates an opportunity there, what he's basically saying, so that all of these other projects, if they want to be able to migrate over, it's not going to be a huge developmental undertaking.
System products onto the SafeMoon blockchain as well. Now, system products, SafeMoon to migrate all of our amazing ecosystem products onto the SafeMoon blockchain as well.
So what would those be? That would be like the support alongside of what's going on with the wallet, very specifically also the SafeMoon Orbital Shield, SafeMoon's tokens themselves.
Now, what am I excited for with the SafeMoon blockchain? I am very excited for the TPS that we will be able to hit. Now, I remember having a conversation.
TPS is transactions per second, and of anything that he could be mentioning for the blockchain, he said the thing he is very excited about, the way that he stressed this, suggests that this is his #1 top priority. It's the biggest selling point. It's the thing that he feels that the most users are going to be wanting and be excited for as well, which is the transactions per second.
With an individual who founded a very, very large video game. And I was talking to him, and we'll call him Gary.
Now he's suggesting someone that had founded a very, very large video game. Was it Halo? Maybe something like that. Fortnite comes to mind. I don't think it's going to be anything with Epic Games. Just based off of what we know with John Karony, he's got a big fixation with Halo. So I'm kind of curious if maybe he explored going through some channels there and seeing what he could figure out. But if you guys have any theories of what game developer he maybe had talked to, if it's something from what we've seen of clues before, let us know.
I was like, Gary, why?
And this guy's name's not really Gary, more than likely. He's just throwing out a name.
Do you support blockchain? Do you think it's the future? What are your thoughts around putting gaming on blockchain, fully decentralized game? And he said, hell no. And I'm like, well, that's kind of an odd reaction because my former conversations with him is I know he's a blockchain enthusiast. He's like, I could never put my game on this blockchain. I'm like, or on blockchain. I'm like, well, why? Like, is it like what's the problem there? He's like, all of the blockchains combined could not handle our, call it, volume. And I'm like, wow.
I don't know. Do you guys agree with that or not? I mean, taking all of the blockchain's transactional TPS, right, transactions per second, you combine all of the blockchains together in whatever this one game is that they're referring to, it can't handle all of those transactions. I'll say this much. If it's not Fortnite, then it's even more bizarre because I can see that there's a lot of transactions happening in real time for something like that of Fortnite, maybe something along the lines of World of Warcraft also. It's just very bizarre to think that someone would say that there's that absolute magnitude of transactions taking place at any given point in time for the game.
All of the blockchains combined could not handle their volume. That's one video game. That's not including large corporate organizations. That's not including payment processors. That's not including, I don't know, all of us. And then I asked him, well, why? I mean, can't you just hope the network builds and grows? He's like, most of them are not built for scale to an extent. I'm paraphrasing there. But he said one of the major issues with blockchain is the ability to scale and scale to very, very large sizes. And so I'm like, well, okay, that eliminates a lot of what we were planning on doing.
I think one of the issues with a lot of the blockchains is that there's a restriction on scalability in general. There's essentially a limitation, right? As more users come on, it makes the whole network more congested. And so you run into this issue where at first everything seems like it's fine and dandy, and then you got a lot more users that are actually deciding to check it out, and you start noticing some interesting changes, right? The transactions start to take a little bit longer. You start to see the gas fees going up quite a bit, things of that nature.
Let's go back to the drawing board. Not scrap everything we're working on, because we were working on Orbital Shield at the time, and Orbital Shield was, something that we wanted to build out.
Well, okay, this is a little weird of a statement. They were working on SafeMoon Orbital Shield at the time. The SafeMoon Orbital Shield just got released to the public, a couple days ago? So, yeah, I mean, the time frame of what we're talking about here could have been anywhere from the beginning of the year all the way up till basically a couple days ago. I don't really know where to base this off of. Maybe he's trying to refer more so towards around March, that's the time frame when the SafeMoon card was supposed to launch, but then they did the delay and they said, all right, we're going to put more focus on building out SafeMoon Orbital Shield and getting that all established first. Maybe that's what he means, but I'm just speculating.
And we knew that it would be the basis of not the basis, but be the keystone in our blockchain. So then we looked at, okay, why don't we do a proof of stake model? No. A proof of work model? No, we can't do that either. So we landed on proof of authority because that's very, very scalable.
Now, based on this statement, I think it's actually predating potentially even the beginning of this year. Because let me go ahead and pause it there. So John Karony had mentioned in Discord before that the blockchain was not planned to be proof of stake. It was not planned to be proof of work. It would be some sort of a variant. And in fact, let me go ahead and pull this up. All right, I was able to find it. Some issues with Discord, but worked around it. So here from what we see on Twitter, SafeMoon Warrior posted this back on March 19th, 2022. And that's where John Karony was saying, we are exploring a witness system similar to proof of coverage, but not, meaning users would be the validators to an extent. We still might go another route, but it depends on the final hardware specs we are working with. We are experimenting with a few different consensus algorithms. Just wanted to share a little nugget with you, but not proof of work. The intent is to be green and have the blockchain semi-hosted off-grid in a decentralized fashion. We are combining a few different concepts together, which requires experimentation. So again, this was posted back on March 19th of this year, which goes in line pretty well with what we were looking for the release of the SafeMoon card.
We went back to the drawing board a little bit. We started working through, like, how do we build this thing to be able to scale to meet this person and then on beyond? Are we building a blockchain for thousands? Are we building a blockchain for millions? Are we building a blockchain for billions? Well, let's go ahead and try to build a blockchain for billions. We are seeing some good stuff. And so that's becoming more of the keystone in our proof of authority blockchain, so the SafeMoon blockchain. We're hoping to release it this side of the year. Now, I've given the timeline before. I'm sorry. This is innovation. This is invention. You have no idea what you're getting into most of the time. Folks.
Okay, so a couple things there. First off is that he said this side of the year, which is suggesting within the first 6 months of 2023. But he's also trying to add in afterwards to cover himself a little bit so that if they don't hit it within the first 6 months of 2023, that people realize that, like, that was a goal that he's setting for himself, and he's trying to give people an idea of what he's working towards, but not saying that, hey, this is a hard set date. It sounds like there's still a lot of unanswered questions in their development stages of getting this figured out. Something else that I want to point out too is that the reference of this other game, saying, if it's true, according to what this game developer, game publisher was talking about, if you combine all of the blockchains together, they couldn't handle the transactional volume of that one game. Again, I find that to be a bit extensive, but let's just say hypothetically that's true. So imagine if you try to do 10 different games that are big mainstream type games all on the same blockchain. How is that even possible? So he's saying here that he's trying to build something that could scale up for billions of holders, billions of users. That kind of a statement is absolutely ambitious, but the magnitude of what it is that you're trying to build out has to be, by like bar none, it has to be way better than every other blockchain that's out there for transactions per second. And again, we're talking about if you combine all of them together, supposedly, and then multiply that by how many? By 100, by 1,000, 10,000, etc. Sounds like he and his team in their experimentations are seeing some pretty good signs towards something, but this is a huge undertaking.
Are asking, okay, well, the blockchain isn't out, the centralized exchange isn't out. I'm like, listen, centralized exchange is, call it an accessibility feature to the SafeMoon ecosystem, the SafeMoon galaxy. But while the centralized exchange is being built, we wanted to make the SafeMoon, everything else within SafeMoon, equally as accessible. So the wallet, we've worked very hard to make sure the experience is the right one and is the accessible or easy to use one. Now, the aim is all.
And that is true. The SafeMoon wallet is very easy to use. And based on what we've seen of preview images for the SafeMoon exchange, it looks like the exchange would also be quite easy to use.
Always to have grandma be able to get into blockchain. Now, some grandmas can get into blockchain, but I don't think all of them. So we're not there yet. You know, again, perfection is a journey, not a destination. Anyway, I'm very excited to where we're at with the blockchain. Just quick little thing for you. We've already, began the testing around Orbital Shield and a proof of authority architecture. That's being built right now or tested right now. And we do have our work cut out for us. You know, there is no manual, step 1, do this, step 2, do that.
So he's acknowledging, I want to make that really clear. He's acknowledging here what I just said, that this is a huge undertaking of a project. He knows that. He's trying to push forward with it. They don't have all the answers yet, but they're trying to find those answers.
We're very excited to explore what we can do with proof of authority architecture. Now, it's still a proof of authority, kind of at its philosophical core, but we have our own flavor on top of it. So we're very excited to bring the SafeMoon blockchain. We're very excited that we're working on the SafeMoon blockchain, and we cannot wait for you to see it. I'm John Karony. I'm the CEO of SafeMoon. Thank you for watching.
All right. Now, last thing I really want to point out to you guys is that did you get into SafeMoon because you're like, I can't wait for the blockchain? Did you get in because of the blockchain? If you did, I'm a bit surprised because most people got in because they're looking at it as an investment opportunity. They're looking at the token. The token currently exists. It's tradable. It's an asset people can buy and hold, right? We have other things that we could also be seeing come out in the future, such as staking. Staking could very well be an option. The exchange, that's a very easily accessible avenue. And now that SafeMoon Orbital Shield itself is done, we could end up seeing the exchange come out here in the near future, I would hope. And so the blockchain is just one addition to all of these things that the company is looking to build out. But if you're looking for SafeMoon and its price as a crypto to go up, there's lots of different ways that that could be influenced. So don't be so disheartened if the blockchain does take longer. Remember that there are other products that are on the table that could also be revealed, that could also be launched, that could end up doing very well, and that could cause a huge impact for a lot of the current holders or future holders. So keep that in mind, right? The blockchain is just one element. Bit lengthy of a video, but I wanted to share my thoughts and kind of dig a little bit deeper into a lot of these elements here. I'll make a separate video on proof of authority. Let us know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. Again, thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. I really do appreciate you guys. A double shout out thank you to WeLoveSafeMoon.com, Victor Vegas, SafeMoon Oz for being higher level patrons. Also, thank you to my YouTube members for your support. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button. God bless, and we will see you in the next episode.